Welcome to everybody. Certainly glad to have all of you here today. We've got beautiful weather, don't we? Good Lord has provided us wonderful weather. I am G.A. Bodenheim. My friends called me Bodie. You can call me Bodie, that would be fine. I've been called worse, as a matter of fact. I was the mayor of Longview for almost 2 decades, back after the turn of the century. And I am by nature a very, very shy, modest individual, but I am basically responsible for the beautiful city that you see surrounding you today. Let me start at the beginning. I was born in 1873 in the great state of Mississippi, in Vicksburg. My daddy was a merchant. He was a Confederate veteran. In fact, he fought in the siege of Vicksburg during what we like to call the War of Yankee Aggression. He died when I was young. Went to work in a cottonseed mill to help out my widowed mother and my 5 siblings. In 1898, I made the best move of my life. I moved to Longview, Texas. Went into the cotton business. I was a cotton broker. Cotton business is great when it's going well. When the cotton business is not, you can get broker. That's okay, you don't have to laugh. I've been dead 54 years, it really doesn't matter. I will have to modestly point out that I became one of the most successful cotton brokers in the state of Texas. At one time I had 65 employees who were working for me. They were on the 3rd floor of the First National Bank building downtown. We did really well for many, many years. Later I got into the insurance business, Southwestern Life Insurance Company. I became the largest selling agent in the Southwest for them for many, many years, I must point out modestly. In 1900, I married Willie Bass. Beautiful, beautiful young woman. Her daddy was the district clerk here. We had a wonderful life together. These are our plots for here. We had 2 beautiful sons who grew up. They made military careers. They served in the Army Air Corps during World War II. They were both majors. We also had heartbreak. We lost a little boy and a little girl. And but our faith got us through. Now I was raised in the Jewish faith, but I married a good Methodist girl, and we started attending church over at Kelly Memorial Methodist Church. That's First Methodist now. So in 1904, I decided that I would run for mayor of Longview. I had some big plans for this town. It was a little country town, and I wanted to make it a little city. Had a lot of plans. So I will modestly point out that I won in a landslide. Now the problem in 1904 was that the state of Texas required a city to have at least 5,000 residents before it could issue improvement bonds. Longview had a little over 4,000 people, but we did have the junction right over here. You know where the train depot is. There's something. Is it called Amtrak? Is that what they're calling? Okay. Well, that was quite an area over there, the junction. There were a lot of railroad employees. Had the TNP shops, and well, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. The junction was a really wild and woolly place. It had saloons, gambling dens. I understand it had painted women, gunshots. Gunfights were not uncommon at all in the junction. In 1886, in fact, the city marshal had a shootout with the county attorney and killed him. County attorney was Jeff Teague. Teague family, Teague Park. That made front page news all over the nation. Not good publicity for the Chamber of Commerce, but the junction was quite a place to be avoided for many years, as a matter of fact. folks in Longview said you'll never be able to have an annexation election. It won't pass. But I got the petitions done. We had the election, and I will modestly point out that due to my single-handed efforts, we annexed the junction. We got our 5,000 people, and I immediately set about issuing those improvement bonds. I paved 9.5 miles of road. Well, actually, I got people to do it. I established a modern water and sewer systems. I established a health department. I built sidewalks. I established the first paid fire department in Longview. You can thank me for that, he said modestly. We had the first 2 motorized fire engines in the state of Texas. Folks came from miles around to see them. It was really, really something. So we had a lot of progress. In 1909, President Taft came to town, arrived on the train. He gave a speech downtown at the TNP depot. As mayor, of course, I got to introduce him, and did actually a marvelous job. And anyway, he liked Longview so much he came back several years later. President Taft and I got to be good friends, despite the fact that he was a Republican and a Yankee. But anyway, so had a really sad event here in 1919, July it was. We had a race ride in Longview. Terrible, terrible event. I had to call Governor Hobby, and he sent the militia and the Texas Rangers. But we were able to finally get through that, and we continued to progress. And but you know what? It just wasn't fun being mayor anymore. So in 1920, I decided not to run for mayor again. Had a wonderful life here in Longview. I need to point out to you that the city built a beautiful little park in downtown Longview after the turn of the century. I will modestly point out that it was named Bodie Park, and it was located between Tyler and Cotton Streets. This was the TNP depot here. You can see old Kelly Plow in the background, Magnolia Hotel. This was the city hall and the fire station. I spent many an hour in that building. During the oil boom in the 1930s, land became pretty popular, so they decided they needed new construction, and so the park became a part of history, and that's now where the Glover Prim building is located, if you're familiar with the Glover Prim building. So I died in 1957, 1 day short of my 84th birthday. Had a wonderful, wonderful service over in the Methodist Church, but I didn't forget my heritage. Service was preached by 2 Methodist preachers and 1 rabbi. And so I figure I've got eternity covered. Let me say how much I appreciate you being here and supporting the Gregg County Historical Museum's efforts. We've got, as I say, a beautiful day to enjoy all of this. I hope you have a great time. You're going to meet the founder of Longview over here in a minute. There is a fellow down on the far end named Jim Bennett you need to avoid. He rode with Bill Dalton in 1894 and robbed the bank downtown. He likes to fire his pistol off loud enough to raise the dead. But what are you going to do?